In this video, I want to show some more CAM tools and some more CAM tricks that I've been learning in Fusion. I want to push you to go even farther in Fusion. I started, the first assignment we did was the keychain one, where we just did some simple engraving. In this example, I made a simple shape that has some 3D features on it. Nothing really fancy or anything. I started with the main block, and pardon me, the main block is that extrusion, just that block. So I started, and again I made a certain size, 3 inches by 2 inches, 1 inch high. Again, I did it in inches, and I'm asking you to make just even number blocks. Don't make any weird decimal values, and remember roughly what sizes you have, because that will matter when we go to do the simulation. On the top of the block, I did this extrusion. To do that, all I did was go into, where is it? Sorry. I went into here, and under sketching, I used the spline tool. You could just click around, and I just made this funny kidney shape just for something different. So I could do that. And then I did another sketch. Oops, somehow I got that one. I didn't want the final sketch. And then I just put a hole in it over here. So something raised out, okay, extruded out, and something extruded in or cut in. That's it. Because I wanted to show some different types of machining in the CAM features. I made something going in and something sticking out. Go down to manufacturing. I've already set it up. It looks like I have some errors. I probably have to regenerate. Reminder in the manufacturing, okay, you're not looking for the CAM part. They call it manufacture, but it's really the CAM part where you can simulate the machining. You have to go to do a setup, so I already did that. For now, we're not going to pick the type of machine we're going to do, but just we're going to do a milling operation, okay? And now you can sort of see, and I've got it, I think, set right. You see that shadow box, okay? That's that stock box idea. Again, the final shape has all these features, but you'd have to start with a chunk of aluminum the size of that stock. And then we machine away all these things, and we get the kidney sticking out. And we keep machining, and we get that hole in here. So that was the reason that I had that stock box thing set up. Remember, when you go into manufacture the units, again, you have to change them into inches. Something I noticed when I was playing around, you could actually set the default, and it seems to stick. So I don't know why I didn't see that before, but there is a default, so when you jump in from now on, it is there. Okay, so you have to do your setup like we did before. Set up your stock box. I said it wrong, I guess. My box is 4 by 2, so it's 4 inches long, 2 inches, and it was an inch high, but I extruded that up 1/4 of an inch, so that's why the height of my stock is 1 1/4 inch, that grade box, because that's the piece of material that I'm going to start with. Where am I? The next thing that I did is I went in and I set what I wanted to machine. So I actually did 2 of them, one of them for the kidney and one of them for the hole. And I went in here because I know I'm doing 2D machining and stuff. What I like about Fusion, when you hold over, it gives you a picture of what that kind of cut would do. So it's a little bit of a tutorial slapping you in the face. And I noticed right away they have this one called adaptive clearing. So it creates a roughing operation. It just sort of clears everything out of the way that you don't want, so you can get into the shape that you want. So that was the one I used to get my kidney shape. And then the pocket cut, when you goes inside a shape, so that was the one I used to do down here. So you'll see them here, that 2D adaptive. You see when I hover over, it kind of shows you where it's going to cut. And then when I do the pocket, it goes where it cuts. So when I clicked on here, If you chose it, you would get this box to pop up. This tool thing is kind of weird. When you go in, if you go to the whole library, there's so many tools there. But basically, it looks like it goes by size. It's sorted by size. And I went down and picked around a 3/8, and I think it was here, a flat end mill, 3/8 diameter. See that little diameter symbol? 3/8 flat diameter. A ball end mill, it has an end here. You can see that it's like a ball. That's not what we want. Flat end, I want the flat. Okay, so I had already chosen it here, and it shows it with the tool holder in place. And all of the parameters for it. You can play around there, but I didn't bother. I set my spindle speed for 5,000 because that worked nicely for the Tormac machine in our classroom. Geometry, again, I picked the geometry and I used the stock box idea, what I wanted to cut around. So you can play with that. Again, I'm not an expert at it, but it's kind of a finicky thing, but it did work. Once I had the parameters set up, I ran and I did the simulation. In the simulation, you don't have to, but I like my tool to be transparent. Kind of just softens it up. And the stock, I had it show. So when you click that, you see the stock box. That's the piece that you would start with if you started in the shop. And then material, like the ceramic. I played in, somehow the ceramic looks better. And colorization, I thought the material colorization looked better. If you like the colors, you can do that. Doesn't really matter. And I made it transparent so I can kind of see the features I'm hunting for. They're in there. I remember what they're at. When you're in the simulation, you can cut, and it kind of shows, like VCarve, oh, that material is disappearing as you go. And then when it's done, presto, there's my kidney shape sticking out. And that stock material has been machined away. Okay, so that's a kind of a neat way to see that. I think I have the error here because I didn't regenerate after coming back. The last thing I want to show, I'm not going to show you how I did this. I'm going to let you figure that out. I'll give you a clue. Make sure when you do your pocket cut, you go right to the bottom of the pocket. The first time I did it, I picked this circle and I only cut to there. It didn't actually put the hole in. So I had to go back and modify. I want to cut down to that contour in the pocket. So watch that. For this toolpath, I'm going to do one more thing. There's a feature here called post-process. And remember we talked about that with VCarve, the idea that you're going to send your file on through a post-processor, a translator. And that's going to convert it into the G-code. I'm not an expert at this, but in the post-process, you can set where the file is going to go. And then post-configuration. I went here, there's all the different types of machines that are available. Well, we're doing a milling machine. And under here, all vendors, meaning all the different kinds of companies that make milling machines. And there's Bridgeport used to be a big player when they made them years ago. But way down at the bottom is the one that's in our school. It's called the Tormac. So that's the post-processor that we want. It goes to this folder, and right here I put in TMJ Meyer first try. It's going to make a CNC G-code file in this funny folder, this extension. Remember in VCarve the extension was TAP, a TAP file. It's just different, that's all. I think this is it, but last time I did it, something popped up to check the save as file. So yeah, this popped up. It seemed kind of weird that it had all those settings. So then I kind of cheated and I said, I'm not going to go hunt all the way into those folders. I'm just going to pop it onto the desktop. There's my name, .nc, hit save. There is a feature It was checked, I didn't show it, but it will automatically open it up in WordPad. I think you could change it to Notepad or something, but presto, there's my G-code file. It's quite a long one. Is it absolutely correct? I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is the proper Tormach post processor for our classroom, but that's small problem. We can sort that out another time when we're actually in the classroom. But the idea is it actually worked. If you go under here and post process, you will see these features, and then it pops up in the folder that you set. Oh, there it is there. Open the NC file in an editor. So I'm not sure how it knew to use WordPad and not Notepad. That doesn't really matter. It opens it up somewhere. There's probably some setup for that. Okay, so just to recap, make a simple design, got some shapes, something unique, something different. When you've got that set, make sure you're in inches, make sure you know the dimensions of your block, because you need that when you jump over to manufacture. In here, under setup, you want that stock box, that sort of ghost shape that you would have before you start your shape. Then you set up the types of toolpaths that you want, depending what you're trying to do. Set them all up. When you're done that, you can run your simulation, see if it actually does what you thought it would do. And when you're done that, what you really need is the G-code, because that code will actually make the machine do the work. That's it. I hope it makes sense. Give it a try.